All right, I think looks like we are recording. We are live on tape here this evening. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Adam Weiner, coming live to you from my office. A very exciting, boring background here, save some silly Lego Disney figures. Yes, that is right. I am 12, but I hope everyone is enjoying themselves here during their quarantine. We have a really special show for you this evening. And I can't wait to introduce all the special guests that I have for you tonight. Hopefully this will work. It's kind of like if you're in a trailer park and we're just duct taping everything together and just trying to make it work. We got the double wide ready because we are taking a trip back, folks. We are going to Stark, Florida, right off of Highway 301 here in Florida for a recap / trip down memory lane of the classic musical, the Great American Trailer Park Musical that FarmersAlley Theater was proud to produce in its very first season, 2008-2009. It seems like yesterday, it seems like a million years ago, but FarmersAlley Theater was founded in 2008, and when we developed our first season, we wanted to do a good mix of shows of dramas and comedies, as well as older material and newer material. So also, we wanted to do something fun in the summer. And I remember we were planning the first season. I wanted to bring the best directors I could buy, get them involved. And I had on speed dial, actually, she's on my favorites page. I call her a lot. Miss Laurel Schedit, hello, are you there? Can you hear me?
Hello, my darling son.
Oh, you're my
I'm your mother.
I'm your son. I knew there was a reason. You were the director of the show that we put up in June of 2009. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And how did you first learn of the show?
Well, I saw it for the first time in 2006 at Mason Street Warehouse. And I had never heard of the show before. We went, and it was hysterical. It was very funny and bawdy and irreverent and all that. And we loved it. And at the time, I thought, well, I'm never going to direct this show. I was directing high school musicals at the time. I said, I'm not going to do this at high school.
Yes, for those who may not be aware, trailer park is considered not safe for work. This was probably up until then, the dirtiest show that FarmersAlley had done, because it's about real people, real Americans talking real about being in their trailers, right, or being agoraphobics, or maybe or maybe not murdering their husbands, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and there's a little language in the show, a little bit. But the story is funny and silly and kind of really silly. But the show has heart, and the characters had heart. So when the opportunity presented itself, you said, "Mom, you want to direct this?" I said, "Absolutely," and we got to get Catherine to do it with us. For sure.
And who is that cat? That would be Catherine Walker?
That is correct.
Oh my gosh, here she is. Catherine Walker, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, can I unmute you? Or can you, yes, there.
Hello, how are you?
Good, are you in Kalamazoo or are you in Ann Arbor right now?
I'm in Ann Arbor right now. We're finishing up classes this coming week, so yeah. But everything's online, everything's virtual, so.
Sounds good. Good. But you are staying safe. You are staying healthy. Yeah. Catherine, you are how long have you been a professor over at U of M now?
I just finished my 12th year.
My goodness. So as soon as you did trailer park, you said, I got nothing more to do in Kalamazoo. I'm out of here. How good it was, right?
It's true. It was really, it has been, and will be, I think, always one of the highlights of my career. It was just so fun. I mean, it was so fun. We did it 2 years in a row.
We did.
So.
That is right. It was so sorry. I'm texting Julie right now because she was like, are you having trouble? Is everything okay? All recording. I am recording on the cloud. So we'll see how that works. Where were we, Catherine?
Just that it was.
Oh, talk about the music style. It's a rock musical, right?
Yes. Well, yes
In a
and no.
way.
It's pop-ish, I think, more than rock, but there's rock kind of style in it as well. I think it's definitely in the contemporary popular vein. And actually for the gals, I remember making them some pop recordings of trios so that they could get the style in their ear. And then I went out and found the best band I could find. So, so we would sort of, what I think we were the Junkyard Dogs, right? Isn't that what we were called?
Yeah.
Yes, the Junkyard Dogs.
Yeah.
That's right. And then we had to get casting involved, right? And I knew there were a few people. We knew in that first season, we were not a member of Actors Equity Association, so we were trying to pay our actors and still be a professional theater as much as possible. And we wanted to combine local actors with students as well as professionals from out of town. So we were kind of still ramping up for that. So I just briefly want to introduce the cast here. Guys, everybody's here. Everybody's here, including, I would say, maybe the leader of the folks in Armadillo Acres. That was the name of the trailer park. She was the leasing manager of the trailer park. You have seen her in many other productions in FarmersAlley over the years. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gina Maria Chimner. She played Badass Betty, right? Betty, the leasing manager of the trailer park. How are you, Gina? You got to unmute yourself, Gina.
Sorry, I was looking for my hot spot.
She was looking for her hot spot. You will find
I'm good
it.
now. Yeah, I guess that was my job. I completely forgot I had a job at Armadillo Acres. Yeah, that was my job. That was very.
You were the leader of this kind of Greek trio, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? What made Trailer Park such a fun experience for you? And you've done many shows in Kalamazoo and beyond.
Yeah.
I would hope that Trailer Park, now that you've done it, that character 3 times, that it holds a special place in your heart. Why do you think it endures so much?
First of all, I wouldn't mind doing it a 4th time with all these people.
You ever get out of here, you never know.
It was just a perfect situation. I mean, everyone involved was amazing and fun and talented, really talented. And so it made everything so much easier. And I think when it's easier, it just becomes, I don't know, I can't even explain it, but you just have this sense of everybody being on the same page all the time, and you never have to draw anybody back into where they were, where you were. You're always on the same page and you're always having fun. And so that's why I just remember it. It's just so much fun.
You're part of your trio. You definitely needed to have chemistry, that's for sure. And I guess your partner in crime, one of the members of the trio, was Cece Weeks, playing Lynn. And Cece, I think if you were here, you got to do the line from the first scene. Why are you named Lynn? Your name Lynn is short for something.
Well, my friends call me Lynn, but my real name is Linoleum because my mama gave birth to me on the kitchen floor. That's about all I remember, though.
For those of you who haven't seen the show, you kind of get to know what you were in for within like a couple minutes when she introduces herself. You also kept a vial of your late husband's ashes around your neck. Is that correct?
I think that's the second show.
Oh, are you serious? It was in the Christmas one?
Yeah, because I went and got all pickled, and so I wasn't in that one, remember?
Oh, that's right, because he wasn't dead yet in the first show. He was just on death row. Okay, yeah. That's right. You had a husband on death row, and you tried to keep all the lights in the trailer park off so they couldn't work the electric chair.
Correct.
Yes, okay, very good. How was it working with Gina and Hannah Pickles, who we'll get to in just a second? And any special memories from? I remember you girls had quite a fun time.
Well, I mean, being cast alongside those two, they were like icons in this town. So this whole cast was. But I'd worked with Gina in Sweeney Todd and Hannah in Footloose when she was like 7 or something, because she was real young. So I'd worked with them before, but never in this awesome sort of like trio. It was truly a delight. I don't even know if words can quite capture the fun we had, both on stage and off stage.
And you had I believe I remember you had the enviable part of the middle part, right? In the.
Yeah, I'm sure Catherine can tell you how awesome I was at that. Ooh.
It all turned out great. So we had Badass Betty, we had Lynn for Linoleum, and then we had the youngest member of the Greek trio, and that was Pickles, her name was, played by a young upstart named Hannah Elless. At the time, Hannah was still a student, correct?
I just graduated from.
Oh, you just graduated?
Yep, I just graduated. It was that summer.
So you graduated, and you said your career was over after doing your first professional gig, like Trailer Park.
Yeah, it's tough when your career peaks like 2 months after you graduate, and then it's all downhill from there.
That's right. Well, folks don't know, Hannah has been a fixture in New York and around the country since Trailer Park, and doing a number of productions, including a number on Broadway, and you were about to do a new show in Florida, correct, when this lovely virus came around, correct?
Yeah, I'm still in Florida, which makes me the closest to Armadillo Acres than anybody on this Zoom call.
You should go and visit, see if the mall's there.
I'm basically in Armadillo Acres right now. Yeah, I'm still in Florida. I was working on a new Aaron's and Flaherty musical actually down here, and we were 3 weeks into rehearsal, and then they cut it.
You have been one of the, the most, I would say, impacted in terms of, actors, entertainment, being a Broadway, being a union actor,
Sure.
being affected by what's going on. What do you hear from, I read articles all the time. What do you hear from the powers that be? I know we're getting a little off topic, but I have you here. I can't, Pickles, tell us what it's like in New York.
Yeah, you want Pickles to tell you what it's like? No, I think everyone's going through the same thing, which is there's a big pause button on the world. Whatever you're going through, it's a big old pause. So I know lots of people are grieving the loss of lots of things, of work and events, weddings, deaths, graduations, things like that. Whatever you're grieving someone, I think everyone has something that they're kind of just waiting on right now. So the musical I was working on got rescheduled for next spring, a year from now, which seems so long, but I think that's the safe thing to do. And all this being said, though, honestly, working on Trailer Park is biggest highlight. And I talk about it like that too. People think maybe it's silly, but we just had the best time. I had the best time being Pickles. My job was to blindly follow all these comedic gods and goddesses around and just play. And I just feel so lucky to be a part of it.
Oh, we were lucky to have you there for sure. And Pickles the character came pretty easy to you. I don't know why, but.
Is that a compliment, Adam? No, I'm just kidding. You know what? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you have a lot of siblings in town. You were born and bred here in Kalamazoo. We were just about to have 2 of your siblings grace our stage for the first time back in March, and then that didn't end up happening. But your mom got on our stage earlier this year as well, playing the bass. But what I'm saying is that you're born in Kalamazoo to a local family. And so we were so happy to incorporate you into the show. But there were also folks that we didn't know until we started FarmersAlley. And that included a very, very talented actress that I'm going to go chat with real quick, coming live from Seattle right now. That would be Amanda Martin. Amanda did so much work with FarmersAlley when she was in Kalamazoo. for many years, and she's out in the West Coast now. How's it going?
Hi, it's great. I mean, all things considered, it's a beautiful day. That's what I'm gonna say. It's
Now,
sunshiny.
Amanda, you played the role of Pippi. Pippi
Yeah.
was the stripper that came to Armadillo Acres and just caused so much trouble for everybody in the trailer park.
I was on the run.
But it required a voice with a huge belt, and Amanda, you delivered that in spades, I remember. And if you saw any of the other shows that Amanda did at FarmersAlley, I loved having you in a show because I knew we were safe. Like, she's going to deliver a kick-ass performance, whether it's as a Wonderette, whether it's as a stripper, or oh my goodness, I can't. My Way, the Frank Sinatra show. What did you ever play up until playing Pippi? What was something that, I guess, how much did you, I don't want to say how much did you prepare for the role, or how much of this was a departure, I guess, playing a stripper, and have you done anything like that since, and what stuck out with you? What do you remember about Trailer Park when you think about the show?
Dread. Dread for having to strip on stage.
No.
That was something that, like, I definitely had to figure out, like, how am I going to do this where I'm not going to completely be embarrassed every single time, because that's just not who I am. And I remember
but you had the three
really,
girls dressed as guys in
Yes.
mesh hats and stuff.
And
you know,
I just
screaming
pretended
at
it
you.
was for them. It was just for them. There was nobody else there. Every single night it was just them, and we were just playing, and it was super, super fun.
And you know, and yeah, you know, you ended up having to play off of this philanderer. How gross was the guy playing Norbert to work with?
Oh, just the worst. No,
that was
the
me, guys, by the way.
The sweetest.
So, no, but now you were with Jeremy at the time, but you weren't married yet. Now you are married to Jeremy, and you have a lovely daughter. You said, how old is she?
She's almost 3.
Now, and is she going to follow in her mother's footsteps, do you think, in that belty voice, or has there been any inklings of that?
She sings all the time, all around the house. It's mostly Frozen all day long.
For sure. It catches all of us.
Yeah.
It catches your daughter. I know it catches the next cast member that I want to talk to. It is, let me just unpin. Oh, it is she. So Amanda was my side piece in the show. But because I wasn't getting any loving at home from my wife, Miss Whitney Weiner. Not my wife in real life, but she was my wife on the show playing Jeannie. Hey, Jeannie.
husband turned brother.
That's right. How are you doing?
I'm making it work. I've been practicing quarantine my whole life.
That's right. Jeannie
So I just fall right back into it.
Jeannie was an agoraphobic housewife. I was a toll booth collector, and she wouldn't go out of her trailer for 15 years, ever since her son was kidnapped.
I could not get out of that trailer, you guys. I couldn't without my life vest.
Now, having played this role twice, you played it in our first season, you played it in our second season, and when we did the Christmas version of the musical back in 2015, you were in it as well as a different character.
As Darlene, but like very similar.
Yes, very similar. What do you? I'll ask you the same question. Like, what do you think has been so memorable about this show? We didn't really know. I mean, if you watch that show, and I don't know, I want to talk to Laurel because she watched a copy of the tape. I gotta think we didn't know what we were doing back then in the first season.
No, I was just telling Rob a couple days ago that was my first show that I did when I moved here to Kalamazoo. I had not done any shows yet, and I was really excited just to be like, okay, I'm just gonna, nobody knows me. I've got nothing to prove. I just was this new person in town, and I remember specifically knowing that Gina had gotten the part of Betty. And I was so like, I was just really honored to work with Gina. Like, cause I had seen Gina in her like singing her duet. remember that cabaret you did, Gina? Like it was like Dueling Divas. I had seen her in that, and I was like, okay, this lady knows what's up. So I remember being very honored to have gotten the part. And then everybody else was just sort of an added bonus to get to know, and it was awesome.
And you really, there's a saying that my mom used in her coaching and time, and it was called "take off the cool pin." And for this role, really required you to take off the cool pin. When you see the pictures in a few minutes, folks, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm not sure I ever had a cool pin to begin with, so it was not hard for me personally.
In water wings and a Frankie Say Relax t-shirt. Well, You'll see me too. I had to wear a lovely wig. We'll see that in just a second too. But yeah, so you play the agoraphobic housewife who had their son kidnapped. Folks, we have the son here live playing Duke, who was Pickles' boyfriend, Mr. Joe McLeod. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, my goodness. Joe, I'm glad you have the same hairstyle as me still from the show. Joe, you had the best part in the show because you got to come in like towards the end of were you in the first act at all?
I think I was in like a little bit of the first act.
Right.
But,
So you
I just got to sort of sit around.
As the boyfriend of Pickles and like the magic marker sniffing, love killing dead animals. In fact, your song was called Roadkill, right? And it was about you running over animals, which the three Greek trio was lovely to pretend they were animals as you were. No, Gina was the animal and the other two girls were the headlights.
Yeah. And I just remember seeing Gina hop across the stage at different parts, just wearing antlers and stuff.
Well, I think you had the great part. You had the great part because you kind of got to you had great scenes. You get to come on, do these great scenes, and come up and just watch everyone be insane as well. And what was that? Because you were young and too when you did that show. Were you still in school?
I was like, I was in school. I think I was like 20. So yeah, I was the youngest person in the show, I think.
That's right. But still, for some reason, young enough to be my son.
Yeah.
But man, what a fun show. And it's great having Joe, not only for the first run of the show, but the second one as well, correct?
Yeah.
We really hit our stride there. I don't know if you still remember the scene you had with Hannah at the mall, which I think is one of my favorite scenes in the show. I should have told you to you and Hannah to memorize the flan stand scene.
The flan stand.
We'll see some pictures of that. But Joe, thank you so much for doing this and chatting with us tonight as well. And I would be remiss if I didn't introduce the man who was kind of behind the scenes and running the show. Let me unmute. But this is Brian Ponzi, ladies and gentlemen. You've seen him in many, many shows. Uh-oh. Wait, did you unmute yourself?
Let's get talking.
That's right. Is that the PBR that you found that we still had that we were trying to sell at the bar?
Yep. Certainly tastes like it. What you want to know?
Who was the biggest jerk to work on in the show? You were the stage manager.
Yes, I was. That was, it was like, what, 12 years ago?
12 years ago. And before we were able to afford Roger Burley, we had to get you to stage manage our shows.
Yep. Had to pick me. Had to go with me.
No, it was great. And and then obviously you've done so many wonderful productions with us at FarmersAlley over the years as well. But Brian, we were all so young back then. What do you think your biggest challenge was in calling a crazy show like Trailer Park?
I was thinking about it yesterday because I was like, gosh, I mean, that show, it in regards to calling it, it's every show has its difficulties in calling, but it was, as Gina was saying earlier, it was just if you've ever been in a show before where everything just comes together, it's the right cast, the right director, the right music director, Kathy doing the choreography. Like, you had an amazing orchestra, you had this amazing cast, and it was just like everything just clicked, and the audience fed off that too. They knew what they were watching. It was this just amazing.
Yeah, they were like discovering something new, and when you get that feeling of things new and fresh, and just, oh my God, did they just say that? This song is great. I think one of the other times I've discovered that is like when I watched Urinetown, I think, at Port Jordan High School. I remember for the first time with people discovering this show. I remember watching In the Heights as well one time. People discover, very few times come along where you're discovering something along with the rest of the audience, and half of the fun was watching the audience experiencing it as was watching the actual show as well.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it really was. And I had the opportunity, and that was like so much fun, is that each night I got to like not sit and watch because I was busy, but I had the pleasure of watching it each night. And like, my favorite part always was the certain bits that we had done throughout the show, like with Joe running out and shooting off the gun. I always would look out and watch the people, because it would just scare the pants off of people, because but then like all just like the little funny jokes that we had throughout the entire show, just watching the audience's reaction was like so much fun each night doing it.
You guys, I don't know, poor people can't see what's happening in this chat panel on the right. I don't know if they can see it, but man, there's some discussions with those inside jokes happening on them. But that's everybody. Isn't that crazy? I'm so glad that everyone, let's see, can I go to like gallery view? Now, can everybody see everybody here? Awesome, it's like the Brady Bunch and Brian's Elless in the middle. So, okay, guys, let's try this. I guess you can unmute if you have something to say. I'm going to try something. I want to share my screen here. Okay, can you guys see this?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Here is the cast of the show minus Whitney and Duke. This was where we had like a dream sequence, right? What was this, Whitney?
Great American TV Show.
Yeah, the Great American TV Show.
What was happening?
Where I laid on my porch and just listened to you guys every night.
Oh, you were dreaming. That's right.
Yeah.
It was like a Fox show, right?
Dream
Like a Jerry
sequence.
Springer or Sally Jesse Raphael, right? Let's see. Now, can I get to like a different one? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
There she is, friends.
There's
I don't
Whitney.
know.
There's Jeannie.
I don't know what's not cool about that, Whitney.
So she was the agoraphobic housewife. She was afraid, so she failed. She tethered herself.
Well, I was gonna say, you guys, the book of this show is so good. Anyway, the script is so funny and so good, especially like during the time that we did it. It was just like, it was so good. But also the ad-libs that all these people did, that all of us did in the show, that Laurel gave us the freedom to find, were also so funny. So like, not only did we have a funny ass script, but then we had these comedic actors that were adding all this extra stuff that were cracking us up.
The best thing too was that, Adam, was that if you go back to that photo, if you looked at that photo of Whitney, that was my all-time funniest moment, because I don't know if Whitney remembers this. I'm sure she does. But one night, Whitney comes out doing that scene, and she's slowly letting herself up like she's going to ask, because she's going to go to the ice capades if she comes out of the house. Michelle Kwan was going down the stage, and I was about ready to call this light cue, and somebody in the front row stood up and started walking out onto the set, and Whitney opened her eyes and went, Michelle Kwan, ah! This guy standing in the front row, and he just was like,
Yes, and so was the first time we did it or the second time we did it, Joe, when somebody tried to come backstage through the trailers at intermission?
Oh God, I don't even remember.
I saw it on the camera, like the monitor, and it's like,
Yeah.
someone's get in, like to the bathroom or something.
Well, Adam, I remember the night that the piece of trailer fell off, like the siding, and you and Whitney made that so incredible, like, Whitney, and take your damn trailer with you, and you threw that piece of siding at him, and he had to carry it off. I remember, because
the
best ad lib ever.
I had never had anything like that happen to me in a live show. Like a piece,
Oh,
a piece of the trailer fell off. But at the time, in our dialogue, I was going off on Adam, right? I was like, get out of here. I was so mad at him that it worked so well, because when it fell off, I was already in this rage. And I was like, I took it. I was like, ah, and I chucked it. Like, I just chucked it out. And I feel like Adam just took it and like went off stage, and we just kind of.
That was what the funny was, is that Adam, you ran off stage out the middle, and it was just like flopping like this.
I had so many.
You made me break my damn trailer.
Yeah.
Remember Gina? Do you remember Gina? Shut the front door.
Yeah.
There you guys. Oh, this is
That
how the
ain't
show
right.
opened.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, Brian, tell the story about the chairs.
Oh,
Yeah, he did.
so this was one of the moments that also I'll never forget, that I think it was like a Sunday matinee or something like that, and I was going through and I was pre-checking everything to make sure that everything was set. And those 3 chairs were always like, okay, yep, those are preset. Like, for some reason, it completely escaped my mind to put those 3 chairs up.
Yeah.
So the show starts, the lights go down, and Catherine starts the music, and the lights go down, and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to put the chairs out. And there's nothing we can do. There's nothing they can do. So
Just lie down on the floor.
So, so the lights come up, and they had 3 pools of light on each one of them, and they were all just standing. I have never laughed so hard. I was like,
I mean, I tried to sit on the ground, and Gina Chimner pulled me right up in the darkness. I was like, let's just sit on the ground, and Gina's like, get on up. And you do anything Gina says. That's like a hard and fast rule of comedy.
By the way, I think we had that. I think we threw out that car seat in the back there. This picture, like last year.
oh,
Like, I don't know. We did a purge and we found a lot of trailer parks. Oh my. Okay.
Oh boy. Nice.
I lost so much hair over the past 12 years.
That's a real Corona cut.
This was like a flashback. We were flashbacking to high school and I was a football star or something.
Adam, I want to know when we're going to star in Tiger King the musical.
You know what? The trailer park,
lends
Tiger
itself
King.
well.
Trailer Park was Tiger King before Tiger King was
Yes.
Tiger King.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Without the
I had all
animal
those
abuse.
wolf shirts, but they could have been tigers. Really.
That's right.
We were tiger people, for sure.
Arachnophobia.
Is that Barack, Alabama?
Yeah,
No, wait, no, that's
No.
not correct. No, that's our,
No,
that's Duke. That's Duke as a baby.
Baby Duke.
Oh.
Yeah, baby Duke.
There's the-
Oh,
a subtle costume. You guys, we have to talk about costumes. I had so much fun with Lissa Hartridge, who costumed the show. Right?
Yeah.
We had so much fun finding wolf print shirts and
here's Pippi.
Oh no.
those
The
hot
pole.
pants.
We built a pole. It rolled in.
oh, that
Oh,
made us crazy. Oh my God.
I did not know those pictures existed.
They exist, honey. Here's another wig. This was the end of the first act, right? Where we did like a 70s.
Yeah,
number.
that.
Storms
Yeah,
of Bruin.
Storms of Bruin,
Storms
which
of
we
Bruin.
still say all the time.
all the time.
All the time.
Storm.
Gina, didn't you swallow a feather from your boa during one of the performances?
yeah.
I remember that. It was on your high note. Where's
Oh, wow.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Gosh, I'm like Mama Cass. It's
That
so
tux
great.
was, I had to make that change. I remember that change was a pain in the
Plausible.
Whitney.
Can you hear me? Am I?
Yes.
Now
Okay.
you are.
So I was doing that.
Oh, yeah.
The siren.
And what, oh, thank you. Okay. And one of those feathers went flying into my mouth. And then I went, and the feather came flying back out. It was horrible. Oh my God.
Oh, there's a poster.
Oh,
oh.
You guys, I have so many like trailer park ornaments and stuff like that I've just collected throughout the years.
Who made the trailer park
Let's
trading
make sure I got
cards?
'em.
Who did those? Was somebody made
Hannah did.
Hannah.
Pickles.
Pickles, you made those and I came across it not too long ago, and it was like
That one.
It was
Oh,
that
this was great. Oh, I love
that's
it. I love
amazing.
that scene.
These are, by the way, I think this was before we had good cameras, so these are like posed. These are like
Epic.
posed.
Epic.
I love that scene. That
The
fight scene
context-
was the best.
Well,
So fun.
there's Brack, Alabama.
And we made up all our own fight choreography. Remember?
Yeah, it was
Amanda?
great.
Yeah.
And then
We're
we-
like,
we-
yeah, that'll work.
I was like, now I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna grab your hair and then knee you to the face.
Yes,
And
yes,
you were
yes,
like,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Anybody else doesn't know that this is an amazing show. This is a scene right now where Pickles gives birth on stage.
With her
And it's
pants
a
on.
baby who
pants
does,
on, yeah.
let's just put it this way, does not look like who she thought was the father.
yeah.
Well,
Different color.
yeah,
That ain't
Pickles is
mine.
progressive.
That
She's
ain't
the
mine.
ultimate American family. They have, a beautiful child, and we wanted to pay homage to our president at the time, which was Barack Obama. Pickles had high hopes for her baby, so she named him Barack Alabama.
This is the end, right? This is make like a nail and press on.
Mhm.
Good song, guys. If you haven't heard these songs, definitely go and check them out. Download the tunes. They're a lot of fun. Goodness, guys, that's what I have. Isn't that crazy?
Love it. Love it.
Whoa.
But I also wanted to let you guys know that I wanted to find this email because we received an email when we knew we were doing this from a patron. Let's see if I can find it.
Oh.
No, it's great.
They're like, bring it back.
Yeah.
So it's
They're
called,
like-
So
I've been trying to drag you to court for years.
this is from one of our patrons, and she said, we are looking forward to this week's show, tonight's show. Mike and I, her name's Kay, and Mike and I became a couple in 2010 after 40 years of being friends, long story, and the Great American Trailer Park Musical was one of their first dates. We both loved the song, Owner of My Heart, which
Beautiful.
is a lovely song that Norbert and Jeannie sing. And that became our special name for each other, abbreviated OOMH. Mike's an artist, and he made me this little art thingamabob you see in the photo. She attached the photo, and I can send it to you guys later. Thought you folks might enjoy seeing this. After all, what else do you have to do all these days anyway? Thank you all for the years of enjoyment you've given us. So this body show brought these people together, right? They call them OOMH.
I was going to
That's
say,
right, yeah. Not the only one, right?
that's right.
Yeah, Catherine too.
We got together on the second iteration of Trailer Park. We became a couple, and we've been married. It'll be 6 years in May. So thank you, Farmers Alley.
We bring love.
The showmance that actually lasted.
Can I say Farmers Alley too? As I go, throughout life to different shows, I always think of Farmers Alley as the place where I learned how to group sing, truly. And that's thanks to Catherine. But truly, I didn't know the difference between just singing a solo and singing in a group until Trailer Park the musical. And Catherine worked so much on group dynamic vocally, but it also brought us together as a cast in every other way too, because to be vocally together, everything else has to follow. So Trailer Park, I always think of it when I'm group singing. I always go back to what I learned from Catherine here.
You guys
You know,
remember that?
go ahead.
And let her go easy on the eye. And with that fall off, I didn't even sing that part, but I remember Catherine working that fall off so much that
I mean, we would
the
come
detail
early.
this woman spent.
Yes, we would
was
come early
amazing.
to warm up and do group things and sing our trios.
No, it's not good enough. Start again. No. Give me those arms. Give me those arms.
We were spoiled rotten.
Yeah, and to work Cece's middle notes, of course.
That's tough.
Miss you, Hannah.
I think another thing that made Trailer Park so special, I look back on that first season, and I have really fond memories of all the shows, and I think we gained a lot of momentum throughout the season and the shows that we did. Trailer Park was really the first one, I think, to cross over into the consciousness of the public, where people knew that this was a theater. That anybody, even if they didn't know one of us, they wanted to come see a show at this place downtown.
Right.
Because something crazy was going on in there. And remember, guys, in addition to the show, we had a warm-up act too, right?
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did. We had a cover band. That was the Junkyard Dogs.
Catherine Walker and the Junkyard Dogs.
Did you
And
get
Jamie.
Wasn't our drummer Derek? Isn't he
Yes.
like on tour now with like Rihanna or something?
Yeah,
Or-
he's
With
yeah,
everybody.
he's kind of off the charts. He's been on the Grammys and done all kinds of things. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you had good old Mike. You had Mike Scheidt and Barry Perks sitting out in the lobby in
Oh,
Kiddie
yeah.
In
Pool.
Kiddie Pool.
Thanks,
We had like
dressed
a
in
cult
character.
following. You know, we had a cult following kind of
Selling
around
beers.
town that
Yeah.
people that would dress
You
up
did.
and come and see the show. We were sort of
Yeah.
like Rocky Horror.
That was
Yeah.
totally my sister and her friends. They drove from Lansing and came to see the show, I think 3 times, all dressed up, like in a group. It was totally their thing. They loved it.
I remember that the second time we did the show, it was insane. We did like 20 something performances like
Yeah.
every night. It was crazy. So
I-
I don't know. We might be in need for a laugh
Yeah.
now, man.
When's the revival?
We need a we
Do
need a
it.
laugh. Yeah, we need a laugh.
Oh yeah. Let's just see if we can do the show. Ready?
I
You
don't know.
guys-
Now we're all of it. Now we're
Go.
all of age to play the parts, right? Young, but goodness, this show I think helped us really. It put us on the map, put us on the map. But like it enabled us to hit the ground running. I think for the second season and build toward that and build an audience and show Kalamazoo that they can get something special and unique when they come see a show. And that's kind of show FarmersAlley. That's kind of the model that whether it's serious or whether it's comedic, they're going to find something for everyone down at the theater eventually. So, I mean, we were this summer, hoping to do Bright Star and High Fidelity, and nothing's been announced officially, but I mean,
we know Hannah doesn't know anything about Bright Star.
Yeah, Hannah doesn't know anything about Bright Star, the character she flippin' created on Broadway, and we were gonna do the show, and then she was gonna come and sing for us, and it was gonna be great. And no, well, we'll just have to postpone.
Yeah,
It's
it's just
not-
a pause button. It's
It's
just a
not
pause
if, it's
button.
when, and who knows? I think, does anybody have any last words of wisdom, or Mom? I'll go to Laurel.
Well, I was just going to say, these performers were so amazing. These characters are stereotypes, but they played everything honestly. You know what I mean, guys? You were honest in your attack of, these characters. And I think that's why it resonated so well with the audiences. I mean, it was funny, but you guys were terrific actors too,
Well,
I
and
think that Laurel gave
Yeah.
us the opportunity. Laurel gave the space for us to play. And that makes such a difference for comedic actors to have the ability to make a bit theirs and try different things. And you just let us do that with such, you trusted us and we trusted you. And I think that really helped us to create this special work.
Well, we were also talking about how the show was cast.
Yeah.
And Laurel and I were talking about this earlier today. And I said, it wasn't hard to cast because everyone just kind of came in and took the role.
You took it.
I mean, as soon as every one of you auditioned, we were like, well, that one's done. Check that box.
Done.
It was like you had zero competition once we saw you all. It was so easy to cast. There wasn't anyone to decide on. It was
Right.
amazing.
We really embody those
Well,
characters.
you
Took the roles.
You took the roles. You took
Yeah,
the roles.
it was
We
great.
didn't- It was great for us.
Okay. Well, anybody else have anything to say? Any last words of wisdom? Or yes, Gina?
One of my favorite memories of the show, I was at Martini's having dinner, and Maestro Harvey was there,
Oh,
and he recognized me And he said that he threw a party before they came to see the show. So I don't what he had seen it before and then invited friends to see it. And they had done cheese whiz canapes and bologna.
Classy.
I mean, they went all out, and then they came to see the show, and it was so cool to think of, the conductor of the Kalamazoo Symphony inviting his friends over for cheese whiz and crackers so they could come see our show. It was awesome. I mean,
They wanted a sophisticated evening.
they
knew
did.
Speaking of sophisticated, Joe, do you still have your fart maker machine?
Oh man, I
Body.
do. I do.
Forgot about
I don't know
that.
where it is.
Wait,
No? Okay. Just wondering.
Very
oh my
sophisticated.
gosh. See, we could be talking about this for hours and get into the fart making machine and all that stuff.
That ain't right. That ain't right.
All right.
That ain't right.
That ain't
That ain't
right.
right.
That ain't right.
Folks,
That ain't right.
I think that is going to do it for our conversating here for now. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here. Really, really appreciate it. And let's see, I'm going to try to, no, I don't want to mute me. I want to just get it on.
I think before we leave, we all need to make when we sign out, you all need to do the make like a nail and press on the.
Oh, that's right. I like it. It's good. But what I wanted to do though, let's see. If I get on speaker view, are you guys looking at me? No, or are you seeing Brian?
No, I'm ready, everybody.
Oh, we're seeing everybody? Okay, going to speaker view, but anyway, okay. Well, I guess what I want to say is just say thank you again. And if you liked what you saw here, folks, we're going to have, I know there's an interview. Jeremy Koch, our artistic director, is interviewing 3 of the funniest people that he knows on Tuesday evening. I believe that's at 8:30 p.m. Stephen Guarino will be joining us. He's a TV star, was in Title of Show in 2014, and his friend Jimmy Ray Bennett, and I don't have my notes on here, and the third gentleman, I can't remember, but he's going to be super funny, and that's coming on Tuesday. And then next Sunday, folks, I'm very excited. We continue our Broadway Battles series with a special Shakespeare evening. That's right. So next Sunday, tune in. We'll have Shakespeare experts, including Otis and Lisa Kleinbergs, Trevor and Nancy Stefanik, and Michael P. Martin and Sarah Rodis, 3 lovely Shakespeare couples in the community. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's it for now, guys. Folks, thank you for coming to Stark, Florida here.
It was our
Make
pleasure.
like a nail and press on, everybody. Anybody want to give final sign off here?
Bye, Amber.
Hi, Amber.
Bye.
Ambers.
Thank you so much. Thank you, folks. See you later.